Hey everyone, welcome to day 7 of the 30-day yoga challenge. Today we're going to be firing up the core. So we did core already, so this time we're going to be switching it up a little bit and we're going to have active rest. So we're going to be trying to incorporate exercising and then not just coming into child's pose, but maybe continuing to keep moving by stretching. And this way we're working the muscles even more, we're heating up the body, and we're continuing to stretch while still getting a good workout for those abs. So get excited, grab your mat, and let's get started. Find yourself in a seated position. Close your eyes and begin to come into your breath. Perhaps inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. Expanding the belly as you inhale and drawing the belly button towards the spine as you exhale. Feel free to set an intention for today's practice. The focus of day 7 is core. My intention is going to be to remind myself to keep my core engaged throughout the entirety of the practice. On your next exhale, roll your head forward and just give yourself a little neck rub. Inhale, lift the arms over the head. Exhale, drop the right arm to the floor, bringing the left arm up over the head, opening up the heart and the chest. Option to bring that left arm down behind the back, bending at the elbow, bringing that hand towards your lower back. Inhale, arms overhead before exhaling to the other side. Again, option to bring that right arm behind the back, resting the hand on the lower back. When you're ready, find yourself in tabletop. We're going to warm up the wrists. First rolling forward and backwards, clockwise and counterclockwise, with our fingers facing away from our bodies. Option to give yourself a deeper massage in the wrists if they're bothering you. Inhale and flip the hand so that the fingers are facing your body. Before sending your fingers to the long edge of your mat to then rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. From here, untuck the toes, sit back on your heels, roll out your wrists. Taking those pointed finger to the thumb and rotating clockwise and counterclockwise on both sides. Inhale and make your way into your first downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Stretching out the heels. Relaxing those shoulders away from the ears. Maybe getting a deeper stretch in the back, the lower back. Focusing on your breath. Inhale, lift the right leg in the air. Exhale, bend at the knee. Rolling clockwise and counterclockwise 5 times each way. Before inhaling and coming into a side plank, stacking those wrists those ankles. Before inhaling, lifting that right leg and then sending it towards the outside of the mat. Inhale, come back to your side plank. Exhale, plant the hands. Press back into downward facing dog before repeating on the left side. Inhale, sweep the left leg in the air. Exhale, bend at the knee. 5 rotations clockwise and counterclockwise. Before inhaling into your side plank with your ankles stacked, inhale, lift the top leg. Exhale, send it towards the outside of the mat, bending the back, letting the head drop and the arm drop. Before inhaling back into your side plank and exhaling, arms down into plank, pressing into your downward facing dog. And then crawling the hands forward, letting the knees drop, stacking the hips over the knees for puppy pose. Exhale, draw the left arm back towards your waist, bending the elbow so you make about a 90-degree angle, and then switch sides. Move around and rotate that hand, find what feels good for you. We're trying to create a deeper stretch in the chest and in the shoulders. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale. Inhale, lift the right arm. Exhale, thread the needle through the body. Option to wrap the left arm back around, reaching for the right thigh. Option to keep that left arm planted on the ground. Inhale, unthread yourself. Exhale, find yourself in tabletop. Before inhaling, lifting that left arm. Exhaling, threading the needle, with the option to find that right arm behind the back, hooking onto that left thigh. Or just resting on your back is fine, or keeping that arm right where it was on the floor. Wherever you are, begin to unthread yourself. Find yourself back in tabletop before pressing yourself back up into downward facing dog, walking those feet forward, heel-toeing the feet wide, and sinking down into your low squat for garland pose. Experimenting with pressing the knees wider, adjusting the width of the feet, trying to hook the arms behind the back, or just staying right where you are. Inhale, begin to lift up from the squat for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, standing pose. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the feet back, keeping that left leg up into the air as you lower through chaturanga, dropping the foot as you inhale for upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, we're going to try and jump those feet forward today. Just a little hop. So jumping forward, inhaling for halfway lift, exhaling for forward fold. Inhale for standing, we're going to do that again. So inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're lowering with our left leg hovering off the ground, allowing it to drop as we roll forward into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, we're hopping forward into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, standing. Try that again at your own pace. Option to stay with me. Option to switch feet that you hover off the ground as you lower into chaturanga. But really challenge yourself. And if you're not feeling it, you're always welcome to stay right where you are. So you would just lower into chaturanga as you normally would, and you would walk the feet forward or backwards instead of hopping them. So keep flowing through your Sun Sal A. Excuse me. So finish up whatever Sun Sal you're on. So if you're with me, I'm going to do one more. So try and do one more Sun Sal A. Inhaling with the arms overhead. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step those feet back. Lowering through chaturanga. Lifting into upward facing dog. Sinking the heels into downward facing dog. Stepping or hopping those feet forward, halfway lift. Releasing into forward fold, this time staying here. Bringing those hands to your opposite elbows for ragdoll. Exhale, allow your hands to drop to the floor. And if you need, step your feet wider and bend at those knees. Try and step on your hands so that your palms are facing the sky. This is a way to really help start to bring the chest towards the thighs. Inhale and step back into downward facing dog. We're going to begin our first exercise for firing up the core. So we're going to shift our body forward into a high plank. Then we're going to lower down onto those forearms, and we're going to inhale, lifting just a few inches from the forearms off the ground. We're going to hold just for a few seconds before coming back down to the floor. So inhale, lift. Exhale, drop the forearms down, engaging that core, lifting and dropping, and then sink down into child's pose. We're going to be adding more of those into the next round of core. From here, we're going to be moving into our next exercise. So we're going to be doing around the clock, which involves bringing the knee to the wrist, tricep, and then moving to make a box between your triceps and wrists. We're going to be doing that 2 times through on each leg. So let's get started. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, and step the feet back in a downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward into a plank, bringing that left leg with you to your tricep, beginning to make your 5 boxes around the clock. So we're making 5 boxes, clockwise or counterclockwise. And then we're exhaling, sending that foot back, inhaling, exhaling, bringing the leg forward into pigeon pose. Taking active rest today to keep the body moving, working those splits. Inhale, bring the right leg around, stacking the thigh over the left thigh for cow face. Focusing on squaring those hips, not about the knees touching each other. Inhale, plant those hands on the floor to help yourself rotate around, facing the back of the mat before coming back down into cow face on the other side. So your left thigh should be stacked over the right. Exhaling, letting that right leg unravel and extend behind you for pigeon pose on the left side. So now your left thigh should be in front for pigeon pose. And from here, we're going to be coming back into our downward facing dog. This time sending the right leg back into the air before starting 5 rounds of around the clock on the right side. Exhale and send that right leg back after 5. Inhale and exhale, plant the feet on the floor for downward facing dog. Inhale, send the left leg back. Exhale, start round 2 of around the clock on the left leg. Focusing on that breath, engaging the core. You're doing a great job. Exhale, send that leg back. Inhale. Exhale, this time plant the left foot on the outside of both hands for lizard pose on the left side. Option to drop that leg back and reach for the back foot with that left hand. Letting that foot drop and sinking back into half pyramid and runner's lunge flow. Just one time before coming into your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg in the air. Exhale, bring the right leg down into lizard pose, planting that foot on the outside of the hands, potentially reaching back for the foot with the right arm. Before dropping that foot for half pyramid runner's lunge, just slow through that one time before coming back into downward facing dog and doing the final round of around the clock on the right leg. Keep it up. Exhale, send that right leg back. Let the foot come back down into downward facing dog. Inhale, step the feet forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, standing, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back, and we're going to come into our side plank on our forearm, and we're doing some hip dips. So make a 90-degree angle with that forearm, making sure the shoulder isn't too far over the elbow, stacking the feet, and we're lifting into our side plank, lowering and raising the hips, squeezing at the top for a count of 20. Engaging that core and those thighs, working those side abs. As we get to 20, we're going to plant that left arm on the floor, coming up into a downward facing dog. We're taking our left leg and we're coming knee to nose. So sending that foot back. Option to be in more of a plank or stay in more downward facing dog, whichever is more comfortable. Exhale, send that foot back. Come into your side plank on your other side. We're doing 20 hip dips on the other side. So you should be on your left forearm, engaging that core, squeezing at the top. Before coming back into your downward facing dog, we're lifting the right leg now and exhaling into knee to nose. Exhale, send the foot back into downward facing dog. And find your way into tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend the right arm forward and the left leg back. And we're going to exhale and bring our elbow to our knee, under our belly, squeezing the core. Inhaling, extending, exhaling, crunching. Now on the last one, hold the legs and arm extended and pulse for 5. And then bend at the knee and pulse for 5 more before lowering down. And repeating the process on the other side. So we're going to inhale, extend those left arm and right leg. Exhale, crunch in the center. And inhale, extend. And we're going to pulse for 5, extending the leg and the arm. And then we're going to bend at that knee, reaching the foot for the sky for 5 more pulses before coming to the ground and sinking into your child's pose. From here, we're going to be working on our push-ups and our chaturanga and downward facing dog and dolphin muscles, all that good stuff. So what we're going to be doing is coming into our downward facing dog. We're going to be leading, we want to be leading with our chest, and we want it to be controlled. We're going to be slowly lowering into a push-up. So here we go. Downward facing dog. We're going to lead with our chest, start to bend those arms as we let our chest roll through into upward facing dog. So that's what we're going to start practicing. Just going through slowly and controlled into upward facing dog. If it feels better to keep the elbows a little wider than closer to your body during this part of the drill, that's fine. Just keep flowing through this at your own pace. Leading with the chest and the heart. Using the arms and the core to keep your body off the ground the whole time. So now we're going to be moving from downward facing dog through our chaturanga to our upward facing dog and back into downward facing dog. So we're going to downward facing dogs, use those toes to roll our body forward, lowering into chaturanga. Now is where we want to focus on squeezing those elbows as close as we can to the side of our body, like we're trying to hold a pencil between our arms and our sides or under our elbows. So you can watch my feet as I rolled forward, and feel free to stay there or come into child's pose, but feel free to practice that for as long as you like. I know it's tiring, but give it a shot. But if you're ready to keep moving, just do at least 10 of those. Feel free to just take your time looking at the form, and then we're going to find ourselves on our back with our feet on the floor. And we're going to lift up into our boat pose, balancing on our butt bones, being sure to keep that back long, engaging the core. And we just want to bring our arms out to our sides to start with. Option to pulse up and down, palms facing the floor or the sky. And we're just going to be doing suitcases here. But when we lift back up, we want to focus on bringing those elbows out as wide as we can and bringing those shoulder blades together. So squeezing those shoulder blades while also focusing on the core, extending the legs as we rock back. Keep it up. And last one, let the feet come down into butterfly. Wiggle out the hips. And then we're going to come back up into our boat pose. And we're going to do some Russian twists, like mountain climbers. So we're going to first come into our boat pose, bringing our arms out to the side. And then either bring your hands to your ears or to your side. But we're doing our Russian twists while also bringing the legs up and engaging them by alternating them as we rotate. You can bring the hands to your shoulders. A few more of these here. Really squeezing that core, adding a challenge of balance. Awesome work. Give yourself a little hug, and then let those knees drop to the floor. Bring your legs back into your butterfly pose. And finally, we're going to find ourselves lying on our back for some leg raises. So we're going to inhale, lift the legs, roll those hips slightly off the ground, engaging the lower abs. And as we lower the legs down, we're going to keep them off the floor for a jackknife, bringing the legs out and back together before lifting again for your leg raise. So let's do 10 of those. Before starting the cool down. If you're feeling good today, you could go through this midsection once more, and the workout would be twice as long. Otherwise, on that last right leg raise, be sure to hold off the ground for at least 6 seconds before starting the cool down. Find yourself in downward facing dog. From here, we're going to practice our dolphin pose. So we're going to drop onto our forearms into dolphin pose. And we're going to practice slowly stepping those feet forward as much as we can. Even if it's just one step forward. Then lifting those forearms, letting them come back down, and then walking the feet back. So we're walking the feet forward, lifting the forearms, lowering the forearms, walking the feet back, and then walking the feet forward, doing it again. This is great for working on opening up those shoulders, really working leg flexibility while also engaging the core. So inhale, step the feet forward, halfway lift. Exhale into ragdoll, bringing opposite hand to opposite elbow, letting yourself rock back and forth. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back and lower into tabletop. Inhaling for cat, exhaling for cow. Flowing through cat-cow at your own breath. Starting to check back into that breath and that intention. Have you focused on engaging that core throughout the entirety of the practice? That was my intention. Begin to tuck the toes and come out of your cat-cow, sinking back on your heels, giving yourself a nice toe stretch. Inhale, untuck the toes, plant the hands on the floor behind you, sink back, lifting the knees off the floor for an ankle stretch. From here, come into a seated position with your legs extended. Exhale into a forward fold. Beginning to expand the legs for a wide-legged seated forward fold. Always focusing on trying to get that chest to the floor. Always an option to bring a pillow or a block or a book to assist you there. Challenge yourself to bring your legs as wide as you can. Again, starting with the knees bent and slowly straightening the legs as you go. Inhale, bring your legs together and find your way on your back. We're doing figure four stretch, so we're bringing that left foot over the right thigh. Interlacing our fingers around the right shin for a deeper stretch there. From here, we're going to inhale and bring that right foot farther across the body, trying to bring our legs into cow face, so stacking those thighs. And as we do that, we're going to allow our body to fall towards the right side of the mat with our left foot on the floor. Inhale, switch sides, so you're bringing that right foot over the left thigh, interlacing the fingers around the left shin for figure four. And then reaching for that right foot, crossing the thigh over the left thigh, and then bringing that right foot to the left side of the body, letting the body rotate, getting a deeper stretch in the side and the thighs and the hips. Inhale, bring the legs back to center. Uncrossing the legs. Exhale, let both of the legs fall to the right side of the mat. Extending the arms, letting the head face the left side of the body for a side stretch. Stretching out those side abs. Inhaling through center before exhaling, bringing those legs to the other side. And today I wanted to give you a challenge at the very end of your practice to see how many yogi push-ups you could do right now at the very end after channeling your breath again, being calm, being warmed up, and having tested your body. So find yourself in your plank position, your high plank. Find your breath and just challenge yourself to see how many push-ups you can do right now, focusing on squeezing the core and keeping those triceps close to your sides as you lower and lift. Give it everything you've got. If it's one today, then it's one today. So long as you brought everything you could to the mat and listened to your body and what it needed. When you're done, you can press into a downward facing dog, sinking back down into your child's pose, letting the knees come to the floor and spread to the wide edges of the mat, sinking back into your heels. Option to bring that right arm and thread the needle while you're in child's pose, perhaps letting the left shoulder come behind the back to open the chest even more, before threading that left arm through the right side of the body. Maybe bringing that right arm behind the back, perhaps hooking onto the left leg. From child's pose, we're going to roll the hips forward, sending the hips to the floor. For upward facing dog, before laying the chest on the floor and sending the arms wide, and planting the hands on the floor, using the left hand to press into the sole of the ground, pressing your chest off the floor, and then letting it sink down from left to right. So letting one shoulder roll off the floor at a time, just opening up the chest. And when you're ready, find yourself on your back for Shavasana, closing the eyes, leaving the palms up to receive energy or turning the palms down for some grounding. Letting the shoulders roll back on your mat and the jaw relax. Relaxing the breath, slowing the mind, letting thoughts go and come. And when you're ready, slowly begin to awaken the body, turning onto your side before finding your way into a seated position. With the eyes closed, I thank you for practicing day 7 of the 30-day yoga challenge with me. I hope you were able to challenge yourself just a little more today. And I hope that you were able to make an intention that you can carry with you off the mat. Namaste.